Picture this. It's January 4th, 2012. You're browsing the infamous random board on 4chan, and you stumble across this stark, black image with plain white text. It's just sitting there quietly in a massive sea of completely mundane internet posts. But for the people who didn't just scroll past it, well, that single image kicked off literally one of the most sophisticated, elaborate, and deeply mysterious scavenger hunts the internet has ever seen. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the dark, cryptographic phenomenon that we all know as Cicada 3301.
The image had a very simple, direct message. It read, "We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. There's a message hidden in this image. Find it, and it will lead you on the road to finding us. We look forward to meeting the few that will make it all the way through. Good luck." And it was signed with just a 4-digit pseudonym, 3301. No name, no context, absolutely no explanation. You know, in a place like 4chan, this kind of direct challenge was an absolute magnet. It instantly stood out and sparked this massive, frantic global effort to uncover its secrets.
Now, you might be wondering why 3301? Well, that pseudonym isn't just some random string of numbers they picked out of a hat. It's a prime number. And as solvers quickly discovered, prime numbers act as the foundational building blocks for the insane cryptography hidden throughout the entire puzzle. It was kind of like a subtle signature, a hint right off the bat that you needed to think mathematically to even stand a chance here. The way this first digital layer escalated was honestly dizzying. First, users opened the image in a basic text editor, like Notepad, and found a readable string of text referencing a Caesar cipher. Decoding that led to a decoy image of a duck, but a clue hidden inside that duck pointed to a steganography program called Outguess. Using Outguess on the original image extracted hidden data that led to a Reddit page, and that Reddit page contained an obscure book code, which, once cracked, spit out a real-world phone number. I mean, think about that. Solvers went from staring at a JPEG file to hearing a robotic voice on a live phone line in a matter of hours. So calling that phone number played an incredibly creepy, flat, pre-recorded audio message. This robotic voice essentially congratulated the caller, saying, "Very good, you have done well. There are 3 prime numbers associated with the original final image. 3301 is one of them. You just have to find the other 2. Multiply all 3 of these numbers together and add a .com on the end to find the next step." Solvers eventually realized the other 2 prime numbers were literally right in front of them. They were the pixel dimensions of the original image, its width and height. Multiplying those 3 numbers together unlocked a secret web address, which featured a really ominous countdown timer. Imagine this. You've been cracking intense digital codes from your bedroom, only to be told your next clue is waiting for you on a street corner in Paris or Seoul. When that countdown timer finally hit 0, the digital puzzle suddenly and shockingly spilled right out into the physical world. The website updated to display a list of specific GPS coordinates, and they didn't just point to one city or even one country. They pointed to 14 different locations scattered across 5 different countries. We're talking everywhere from Warsaw to Paris to Seoul to Sydney. It was now completely up to participants who happened to live near these coordinates to get out of their chairs, go outside, and hit the streets. And what did they find when they got there? At each of these physical coordinates, solvers found actual physical paper posters taped to things like lampposts and bike shelters. They all featured a picture of a cicada and a QR code. But here is the craziest part. Many of these posters were located within walking distance of international airports, which heavily implies someone might have actually flown around the world just to place them. Scanning the QR code led to a new image, which contained a new riddle, leading to a new book, and finally it pointed to a brand new hidden website. But right here is where the hunt hit a brutal wall. Only a very small, select group of the very first arrivals to this new website were actually allowed to proceed. For everyone else who arrived even a few minutes too late, the site abruptly closed down, displaying this incredibly harsh message. We want the best, not the followers. Those lucky few who actually made it inside the final stage were sworn to absolute secrecy. They were strictly warned that sharing any details with the public would result in immediate disqualification. Now, with copycats and trolls flooding the internet, solvers desperately needed a way to know who was actually running the game. Enter the PGP signature. This is a cryptographic authentication code. Think of it as an unbreakable digital fingerprint. It allowed users to definitively verify that an image or message was actually from the original creators and not some random imposter. Cicada warned solvers right out of the gate to disregard literally any message lacking this specific mathematical signature. It was absolutely crucial, the only way to separate fact from fiction. Utilizing that exact PGP signature, solvers were actually able to track Cicada's return over the years. Exactly 1 year and a day later, in January 2013, round 2 began. This one led to 8 new physical locations in 4 countries, a super creepy audio clue called the Instar Emergence, and a mysterious Twitter account filled with runic alphabets. Then came round 3 in January 2014, which introduced an entirely new beast that we'll talk about in a second. After a year of total silence in 2015, Cicada returned in 2016 with a verified message simply urging solvers to go back and re-examine the puzzle from 2014.
Which brings us to Liber Primus, the unsolved book.
Guys, this is the stage that stopped the internet's greatest minds completely dead in their tracks. Liber Primus, which translates to first book in Latin, is essentially a philosophical manifesto written entirely in Anglo-Saxon runic symbols, and it is heavily, heavily encrypted. Out of the 74 pages featuring runes, only 19 have been successfully translated. That means a massive 55 pages remain entirely undeciphered. Over a decade later, despite the efforts of thousands of incredibly smart people building custom decryption tools and grinding late into the night, the vast majority of this book remains completely unreadable due to complex, cascading layers of encryption. So what happens next? Let's dive into the final stage leaks and try to separate fact from myth. Because Cicada basically disappeared into silence after dropping Liber Primus, we have to look at leaked emails from alleged finalists to understand what supposedly happened to the winners. But we have to be super careful here to delineate confirmed facts from dark web rumors. See, verified Cicada communications always used PGP signatures and relied on flawless internal logic. The leaked final stage emails, however, they're completely missing that crucial PGP signature. Supposedly, it was removed by the leaker. Plus, the leaked email begins by demanding extreme secrecy, saying, "Do not share this information." Yet just a few lines down, it asks the recruit, "Do you believe information should be free?" That glaring contradiction definitely casts a heavy shadow of doubt on whether these leaks are actually genuine. Still, even if we take them with a grain of salt, the accounts from alleged winners are fascinating. In a 2015 Rolling Stone interview, a solver named Marcus Wanner described being taken to a dark web forum with about 20 other recruits. They were told Cicada was founded by a decentralized group of friends, and they were tasked with developing privacy-conscious software applications. Another solver, Nox Populi, claimed a nearly identical experience after winning round 2. But in both cases, well, without the thrill of a scavenger hunt, the recruits just got bored. Around May 2013, the software project abruptly dissolved into total silence, and the group simply disbanded. Which leads us to the biggest question of all. Who is actually behind Cicada 3301? Let's look at the main theories. What kind of entity actually has the resources and the raw intellect to orchestrate this intricate global phenomenon? First up, a corporate alternate reality game, or ARG. Microsoft has actually done this before to promote Halo 2, but given the complete lack of any commercialization or product reveal over the last decade, this is highly unlikely. Second theory, an intelligence agency. Interestingly, in 2013, the British agency GCHQ actually launched a puzzle called Can You Find It? To recruit codebreakers. So it's a possible theory for Cicada, but completely unverified. Finally, we have cypherpunk activists. Given the heavy focus on cryptography, the leaked emails about privacy software, and the fact that a dedicated hobbyist with a decent travel budget could absolutely place those posters around the world, a loose-knit group of privacy-minded cypherpunks is widely considered the most logical and realistic answer. But with the vast majority of Liber Primus still sitting there as an unbreakable fortress of code, we are left to wonder, are the true creators of Cicada 3301 still out there? Are they silently watching the internet just waiting for someone to finally crack the rest of the book? Or has the greatest internet mystery of all time simply been abandoned, leaving its final secrets locked away forever?